The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
Oh, it is Monday. If you're listening live, this is Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. I'm Sean. Hopefully, good. Kevin, I was a little worried you might have been meeting with a Russian mercenary planning a mutiny somewhere, but I'm glad that you're not.
I'm actually going over the attack plans with Trump.
You're in the bathroom clearly then down at Mar-a-Lago. Taking sitting on the plastic, the uncapped. Someone pointed that out to me too. I was joking about the tackiness of the bathroom and the fact that this did not appear to be a luxury resort with the plastic Target bathroom and the uncovered tissue box. I didn't notice that. Someone pointed that out to me. Wouldn't you have a nice covered exterior for the tissues? But it was just like a Kleenex box thrown on the counter. Never ceases to amaze.
You can't take the Ramada out of a motherfucker.
No, you can take him out of the Ramada. You can't take the Ramada out of him. Listen, I opened with a joke, but how about that shit going? I'm wondering, so let's say your life is spared, okay? Let's say you're Prigozhin and you get exiled to Belarus.
Okay. Now,
what's the over-under on your lifespan?
Rule number one. Rule number one. At no time be higher than the ground floor, preferably the basement of any building.
Any building they put you in, right?
Yeah. Don't touch anything.
Don't eat.
Because they'll fucking crop dust that country with poison. It's like that dude. When they showed a picture of him, and he had the mercenaries who were behind him, and he was kind of walking around. I had such a flashback from Apocalypse Now. You know,
he has a little bit of the curse.
Where he was that he was Brando. I just love the fact that people are talking about shit that's going on. You know, I could give two. I mean, we've got Trump dead to right now. That number one, he's going on the not even insanity but stupidity. That's his fucking. That's his. He actually said today, and I won't get it precise, but I'll get a ballpark, that he hadn't watched anything on the news, but he didn't say anything wrong. Well, the only place that they reported it was the news, and they basically gave a rundown with they gave a visual of what he was talking about.
These are the recordings you're talking about, right? The recordings in regards to the documents. Yes.
That motherfucker, it's like, if he would have been the gunman with Kennedy, it would have been like, you know what? It was a beautiful shot. No matter how you look at it, it's just beautiful. I was told it was perfect. Still murder, motherfucker. Perfect shot. So, between him, Robert Kennedy Jr., jacked at Gold's Gym doing inclines, and Colonel Kurtz, 160 miles from Moscow before he decides to turn around. Like, gee, and who's to say he didn't, like, they took over Russian strongholds there. Like, you're going to tell me there's not a nuclear, after the conversation we had about a little NATO site having thousands hundreds and thousands of nuclear weapons, but there wasn't one in that town that they turned
Well,
around and went to.
the city of Rostov, right? Rostov on Don, and then how many jets? They shot down jets.
No, they knocked down 4 helicopters and a cargo plane.
There wasn't a
13
fighter
total.
jet. I thought it was. There
I don't.
was.
I think it was 4 of those. I think they're called like C-14s or some shit.
Let me see. Let me bring up here. I want to see what the latest is.
Right now, if I'm the CIA, I've got a tail on Jeremy Irons, because he always plays the fucking Russian guy that gets the bogus
right.
nuclear weapon.
Yeah, it says within 24 hours of Wagner Group's rebellion, in which mercenaries shot down Russian fighter jets and took over the southern city of Rostov-on-Don, Prigozhin halted the militia's march on Moscow in a deal that allowed him to flee the country. What's the over-under? 6 months?
Each
Damn.
each day that he breathes, I think fucking it. Like how long do you let the guy sit there and count cards?
Well, maybe Belarus is the first stop on the way to Argentina or something.
Maybe Belarus is the next stop after Ukraine.
Crazy thing, but this is unprecedented times here, and especially a lot of people are too young to remember the fears of Russia, the fear of Cold. I wasn't born for the Cold War, the Kennedy Cold War, but certainly in the 80s before Gorbachev.
As I said, this is how things have changed. Things started out with fire drills, but when you had fire drills, you also had your nuke drills.
Under the desks.
Under the desk, or you sat between. You opened your locker, and everybody opened your lockers, and you got between the 2 lockers. I guess the guy on the end was just fucking. I guess he was taking all the radiation. But
sucks for the people on the top row, though, huh? With the
no,
it
was a lot. Your lockers. There was
there wasn't a top and a bottom locker.
No, not when. This is old school, man. This is when you didn't leave that classroom. You didn't cross classes and shit. You just sat in that same classroom all day.
Right.
But you got a solid hour of recess.
Yard time.
Yeah, solid hour of yard time and 45 minutes of PE every day. Every fucking kid in your gym class could do the fucking pegboard and climb the rope. And now it's fucking discrimination because a heavy person can't make it up the fucking row on a plane.
But what your point is there's an element for me anyway of the here we go again with Russia, and now there's some real action over there. It's not just the threat of having 2 superpowers, which in the 80s for me that's what it was. There was some posturing around the world, and certainly Afghanistan was. I don't want to go into that whole thing, but there was a vague threat that Russia could take us out, and we could take them out and destroy the planet in doing so. But now here we go.
Oh, I mean, it's always
we're
been
involved in the Ukraine, and this is lead story stuff. Just below CM Punk, of course. I just want to point that out.
yeah. I mean,
number 2 on my feed.
It's probably 3 on mine. Yeah.
We got the Trump bathroom documents under.
Yeah,
under this.
The fact that he actually sent out for some cokes, while they're reading the documentation. I mean, just. And I saw round after round this week as I sat and dropped deuces, more and more people jumping onto the Biden, but it's he's been assassinated, but it's people it's actors that are in prosthetics.
Oh, so it's not even like computer AI. They're
No,
they're gluing
it's Benjamin Button.
latex appliances. Tom
Yeah,
Savini is applying latex.
It's Brad Pitt is actually playing right now Joe Biden this week. And he better hurry up and get whoever's playing the actors. If they're SAG actors, they better hurry up because we're going on strike.
The strike's coming, so
Friday.
we're going to see. I guarantee you, Biden will disappear for a while during.
Yeah, he'll have
strike.
to. Or the next thing you know, Screen Actors Guild will be standing out in front of Pennsylvania there, calling out the scab.
I was going to say you'll just get scab actors to it.
Yeah, so.
Like I did for the Japanese animation. Maybe Oliver Gregory will make a return to the screen.
Why not?
Feedback for last week's episode. Lee Shields says, genuinely the best podcast going today because it's not tied to wrestling as a whole. Goes into all kinds of topics that make it feel fresh and passes the time very quickly. Shout out to Sean and Kevin for keeping it simple and keeping it real with us. Well, Lee, you get it. You're one of the thousands that get it.
I'm so fucking hopped up on fucking that liquid THC.
A little get blitzed, get-blitz.com.
Yeah, we're so irresponsible. There was a guy that put a message out. He said that the average edible is 2.5. I have never in my life seen an edible at any
milligrams.
Yeah, 2.5 milligrams is what an edible is. You can't find one below 10.
You probably can't, yeah.
I mean, I've never seen an edible below 10 milligrams. So it's just like...
That's strange.
Like, I used to eat fucking 50 milligrams of chocolate like it was nothing.
Of edible chocolate, of
THC.
edible THC in chocolate, yeah.
In chocolate, yeah. I mean, it's like... I remember one time I was coming back from WrestleMania when it was that huge over 100,000 people in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, man, I really don't want to carry carry this. I don't want to carry this chocolate around because like Texas ain't cool.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I'll just eat it. So we
you didn't have a case.
There's like a fucking like a dinner for 3 or something with the Kliq, and so we had that like early, like 8 in the morning or something like that, and I was on a roll of just trying to eat all this chocolate. So if you ever see it, all 3 of us are in shades for this because we are fucking wasted. But I mean, as this guy's saying, like, oh my God, it's so irresponsible. Dude, we're so wasted that we're going on record, the 3 of us, for, I'm like, come on, man. Let's put all the people, let's put all, at the end of the show, we're going to put all the names of the people that overdosed on THC this week.
I don't think we have to add anybody.
No.
And that's a testament to how fucked up you were because your shit was shot in black and white and you still had to wear the shades. You thought the red would have...
This was back, this is WWE.
This was before NWO, okay.
No, this is this is the WrestleMania at fucking with 100,000 people in Dallas. You're not fucking paying attention.
I'm not paying attention.
No, you're not paying attention.
So this is the WWE version of NWO.
Yeah, a table for 3 where you have dinner and you talk.
Got it.
Wesley knows.
It was a Jon Favreau show at first, wasn't it?
No idea.
That was dinner for 5, I think, where they got that from. So anyway, to your point,
Well, you've got me lost now. I'm stoned, so all you got to do is fucking throw a sprinkle ball over there, and I'm fucking I have no concentration. So
something shiny in the corner.
yeah, right. So
Fido.
now I'm gonna have to hear. It's bad enough I'm sitting over here eating this fucking chicken burrito.
Well, that wasn't there another episode. It wasn't our show, but people were talking about the burrito. Oh no, that was the lasagna. That was
ravioli.
The ravioli, right? I was actually there. It is for
There we go.
Table for three.
We look fucked up there.
I was adding. I
look Oriental. I'm supposed to say Asian, right?
You all look very happy. If nothing else.
Yeah, I look fucking. Kid looks fucking stoned.
That's standard Kid right there, though. The big smile.
But look at her eyes. Look like dime slots.
But now, did you shot that still at that setting, or that was like done weeks afterwards?
It was probably that same weekend. I think we were stoned the whole weekend. There's nothing better. Hey, you tell me I got to be in a building for 10 fucking hours and I'm not doing shit.
Well, I don't know.
I mean,
could have microdosed.
Yeah.
Didn't have to go so hard.
You gotta, no, we didn't go hard. We just, that motherfucker we did that was out in the Giants with the Giants play that new. It's not Meadowlands anymore.
MetLife.
Oh my God, that motherfucking thing! And me and Scott had to do that gimmick with the head writers from Saturday Night Live, Jost and Jim. And we did when I had the proctologist gimmick. I had rubber gloves on. That thing was supposed to be done at like 3:00. We shot that thing at like 11 at night. It inserted where it fucking went on the show.
Right.
And we sat around. Yeah, we sat around all fucking day to the point where they ran out of food and they were fucking boiling hot dogs.
Wow.
And the night before was my fucking shenanigans party, and I was up until 5 a.m. drinking fucking scotch. So
2017 was that 2015? Something like that. Phenomenal. Sergio MT. Love the show. Mean Gene segments have to be sprinkled in, please. Stay strong, Kev.
A little fucky.
Your honest opening up on your feelings help you cope. Great job, Sean. Yeah, people loving any footage, See, Mean Gene, for the younger fan, Mean Gene was the Cosell figure for us. Unflappable, unshakable, always had the delivery all the time, was always on. So to see these cracks, these chinks in the armor, so to speak, is so entertaining.
Ali could actually get Cosell sometimes. Like Ali could get Cosell
to crack,
but,
yeah.
Yeah, but no, I've never seen anybody get Bob Costas to crack.
I saw someone smack the cards out of his hand one time named Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
I still think that's one of the highlights of when people talk shit about Vince, and I watch that clip, I'm like, see, I can't dislike a human being that is absolutely got the same DNA as me. It's like when Everett went after fucking Rome. Jim Rome.
Oh, Jim Rome.
Kept calling Chrissy.
Jim Everett. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, you know what, man? Fuck it.
You see a kinship in someone with the lack of self-control.
That guy threw that fucking beer on Scott, like wherever we were, Wichita, wherever it was, and fucking Scott looked at me. He started to go over the railing. He looked at me, goes, "You coming?" I said, "Fuck yeah!" Like, well, I'll throw it all away.
Right.
Lawsuit. They scattered.
But you knew Gene personally, obviously, worked with him.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
saw all these funny sides of him. We just saw the unflappable, unshakable.
The shit that he said underneath his breath just in waiting to get on a plane was priceless. I mean, it was just it was nonstop. And Bobby was funny, like Heenan was funny,
Yeah.
but Heenan was always kind of a little mean-spirited, where Gene's was that it's almost when you watch the tape of Sean Connery, he says, "Oh, yeah, sometimes you just gotta smack him one. Not with a closed hand, an open hand." When he's, I think it was Barbara Walters, he says, "Is it all right to smack a woman?" Sean Connery was like, "Yeah, fucking give it your mouth. Give him a fucking little nudge."
It was a different time.
Yeah, you think?
Willie Jones, Jericho in WCW. Okay, so this is we had the discussion last week about Jericho and Sting, where I was very surprised that they had not been in a ring together. So Willie Jones points out to me that Jericho was in WCW from 96 to 99, Sting WCW from 87 to 01. So there's all those years of overlap, apparently. Said they were there together for 3 years, but Sting did do some stuff in New Japan, and when he came back, feuded with NWO until he became Wolfpack. For whatever reason, they did not work together. Both were generally faces, so that could be part of it. So, yeah, I guess technically, while they were both on the roster at that same time, if he was back and forth from Japan and they were both baby faces, they wouldn't have. But I guess I didn't even realize there were 3 years.
I
that
don't
they
think
were
I
together.
worked with Chris during that WCW run.
96 to 99. Now, you went in 96, right?
Mhm.
So you went in 96, and so you were there for it, but never with Chris. Okay.
Never worked. We worked everything we worked was in New York.
Extreme King, Sean, did you say they were sold this safe journey? He's referring to the underwater tragedy. He said, dude, the CEO of OceanGate, who was also in the submarine last year, said, and I quote, at some point, safety is just pure waste. I mean, if you want to be safe, just don't get out of bed. Don't get in your car. Don't do anything. That's the Kevin philosophy there, by the way. But so that was apparently the CEO of OceanGate who was in the
Okay,
vessel.
so my rebuttal to that is, but if you are that guy and you're on the bottom of the fucking ocean, you're 13,000 feet, and you don't have a contingency plan to get the fuck out of there, it should be clear that you do not want the United States Coast Guard or any other entities spending millions upon millions of dollars to get assets to save your fucking asses when you could take that $20 million that they fucking probably spent and give it to after school programs in Baltimore, Detroit, Oakland, you name it. I'm sure that fucking $20 million would go a lot further. So sorry for the fucking young kid who was talked into bonding with his dumb fucking dad, but the physics of when they said the pressure at 13,000 feet is the equivalent of the Empire State Building filled with lead sitting on top of the vessel. And you're using a fucking Xbox to control it.
How is there no computer designed in the design, used in the design, where when you add pressure, when you put in the calculations of what I'm going to need to protect a vessel as it goes 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet, is there no computer that talks about the amount of pressure and
It's
what
the
would
same.
withstand?
No, but it's the same question of at what degrees is it too cold to fucking shoot a space shuttle off? When did when does that it, it's still to this. I've always said this. I hate to be that fucking guy, but it sure as hell is funny. Like in 1975, that Volkswagen made the Rabbit, and it got 50 miles to the gallon. Since that day, there hasn't been a fucking vehicle that's got 50 miles to the gallon. So we supposedly, and I remember one time I was buying a Mercedes Benz. I want to think it was a 2003 model. And the guy on the showroom told me, he said, I just want to tell you that this vehicle is 3 times as sophisticated as the lunar module that they landed on the moon. Okay? If you've ever seen the lunar module, it looks like fucking like somebody's box kite. So how is it that we did something in 69 that we can't replicate?
That we don't want to replicate because of
Because the lighting's not as good as when fucking shot it.
the Kubrick.
Yeah, Kubrick.
The moon landing, the gimmicked moon
Which
landing.
would have had to have been shot in London because Kubrick never shot anything outside of London.
Correct. It would have had to been a sound stage in London.
Yeah, it had to have been a sound stage in London. And
but before I get to the graphic on screen, we're going to educate based on the knots under the sea.
I thought it was leagues.
Leagues. Knots. What's not? Knots is speed, right?
Yeah.
Leagues would be under the sea.
20,000 leagues. That's Jules Verne, right?
We all done go to school. But what I wanted to say was you're bringing up the 50 miles to a gallon or whatever, and the VW, and you could have a conspiracy theory discussion that the oil industry does not ever want a tank that efficient built again. What always amazes me is that basically the science of the inflatable fucking tire has not changed since the last 100 and however many years, 110 years
the only
since
difference
the first
is
vehicle.
From it being a cotton ply tire to it being a like a steel belted.
Right, but my point is, if you ran over a nail in 1923, or you ran over a nail in 2023, you're the same level of fucked. Technology has not in any way.
More so now because you got a fucking donut in your fucking trunk.
Right, and the tire costs a quarter of your car, especially if you have those run flats. That whole fucking deal, the run flat tire.
Yeah, get those 225 wide ass mother. Get the Mercedes. Get you an S class with the front tires and back tires are different sizes. So all you can do is crisscross them, and they last about 12,000 miles because the engine's so fucking heavy in that thing it just eats your front tires alive.
I'm telling you this, single-handedly exposing everyone today. The fucking the engine efficiencies, the gas tank efficiencies, the tires.
That whole Mercedes fucking thing, that is nothing but fucking rich people problems.
That's true. We're very entitled complaining about our thing. My Mercedes had the run flat, which was supposed to be able to.
Those things are horrifying.
If it was penetrated, like, oh yeah, 50 miles, don't even have to moderate your speed. No. You go straight. I pulled into a fucking gas station, exit fucking 3 or 4 on the turnpike, coming back from Florida with a flat in that thing. They were like, yeah, that's shot. You're going to need another one. I said, oh, so the fucking $400 run flat tire.
That's the biggest fucking scam on earth.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Baba.
Yeah, it'll run flat. Every other tire will too. It'll ruin your fucking rim.
right till you get ass raped at the fucking repair shop. Ryan Chenoweth. Being an 11 soft member is great. I agree with you, Ryan. Being on Nash and Friends is even better. So if you want to know what he's talking about, go to KliqThisTV.com, sign up. Our friends are here watching the live production.
I apologize for eating my burrito, but I've had a bunch of shit going on today, and I trained legs, and I had a protein drink after legs, but I would have passed out had I not eaten that. And we were already 40 minutes late with my technical problems trying to get.
Right. So
into
if
this.
you were a Kliq This TV member, you would have been treated to the technical support class that was
Not
given
only that,
before
though,
the
see,
show.
the thing about the Kliq This family is they're family. They're not just sitting going, oh, this is fucking bullshit. They're sending in technical support.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is a team effort. They realize, man, like this when you're part of Kliq This, fucking you're on the meno.
That's it. Kliq for life. David Van Bogelen, one of the people sending in some suggestions about.
Yeah.
I think there were sockets and whatever his degree is in computer science, but and you would have been a part just last Thursday of the Vince Russo Nash and Friends, which was wildly entertaining. So go to kliqthistv.com and
Well, that completely throws me off. Okay.
become part of that and join us for the next Nash and Friends.
I thought I had a stroke, and I realized, oh, that's
You don't remember the promos back in the
tomorrow.
80s?
Oh.
Hey, this is Missy Hyatt, the Walking Riot, and I say that you need to save with Conrad. Jim Ross told me, you need to go with Conrad. He'll save you money. And he did. You guys helped me out great. And when I refinanced it and paid off everything, my payment was only $8 more a month. I probably saved at least over $30,000. They make everything so easy for you. Go to Save with Conrad if you want to refi your mortgage or anything with your mortgage. Just go to Save with Conrad.
OIF Vet says the difference between alcohol and weed while driving is simple. The drunk doesn't.
I read this, and this guy's absolutely on the money.
The drunk doesn't stop for the stop sign. The stoner stops at the stop sign and waits for it to turn green.
Yeah. There was another good one. A guy said today said that he actually is more cautious when he's not stoned than when he's stoned. Like he's like, but he's probably like me. If I'm not stoned, that means like I'm on a trip. Like I would never, I would never get stoned and have it my job to get somebody someplace.
Mm-hmm.
Get myself to the gym, not a problem.
Right. Right.
My wife does not like when she just not, she won't get in the car with me if I'm stoned.
Right. She doesn't indulge?
No.
She'll have a glass of wine, though, right?
She'll have a glass of wine.
Okay.
I don't even, God, she might, when we used to go to the islands a lot, she would drink like maybe a painkiller or a margarita or a daiquiri or something like that. But she'd have 1, 2.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to get one when your husband's drinking out of the pitcher. So,
can you just pour a little in my cup?
Yeah, next round, baby. Woo!
Just hold it under me. Some might dribble out of my chin. You can have that. Did she prefer wine, Kevin, or THC, wine? Kevin? No.
Oh,
being around you.
Well, THC. I remember when T was born, and she was like really like she told me, okay, you can't smoke in the house, and you can't smoke in the backyard. Like he's going to, that's going to register that his dad's smoking a bong, because I was always a bong guy.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like I always like to just, I don't like, I don't like smoke in my lungs, and B, I'm not adding paper to the mix. So I was always a bong guy.
Plus, it simulates like a big shanker. It can kind of be fun.
Yeah, if you feel like you own a man, like that. Like, what do you got, baby? big hunk of man, something like that. So all of a sudden it fucking got real hot in here, man. What was it, the summer of '92? The fuck?
No, that was the demonetization hammer falling from YouTube that just hit you.
Yeah. But
So she laid down the edict, no bong in the vicinity.
So I'm in our house in Arizona, and I'm squatting at the end of one of the cars. I've got this ceramic bong I've had for like 25 years. It's a dragon, and he's holding a bowl, and his ass is the carburetor, and the end of his tail is where you hit it. This little fucking little gimmick. And I'm down here fucking, and it's just like I got I'm facing the door, and I got my back to the fucking, and I can just feel somebody's presence. And I just slowly turned around as I'm blowing the smoke out of my nose. And she just gave me that look like, I was just like, she could have yelled at me. She could have shot me with a shotgun. Just the look of disappointment
was worse than anything she could have said.
Fuck, yeah. Man. And you know what? That was it. That was it, man. Like I really stopped smoking for a long, long time. And then I remember, like, I would, like, somebody said something one time I was on the road someplace, and they were like, "Hey man, you want to get stoned?" And I'm like, "Nah," I said, it's not legal here. And like, "Oh fuck that." I said, "No," I will not, ingest cannabis in a state where it's not legal. I said, and it's not legal, like in Florida, it's not legal unless you have your medical card.
Right.
So if my medical card, and I never let my medical card overlap. I mean, I stay on top of it, and it's just like, it's a felony.
It's a felony?
Yes.
Like the amount doesn't come into play, where if it's less
than
the
amount that they've changed, it used to be like 27 grams. I think 28 grams is an ounce. I want to think anything above 27 grams was a felony. And now it's like fucking 8.
Oh.
It's like 8 grams. It's like, it's something ridiculous.
Okay.
So it's like, if you're not smart enough to pay and get a fucking,
It's $250, I think, down there, isn't it? $200, $250. I see the ads and all the.
I don't think it's even that much. I think the doctor visits where they get you, but my doctor doesn't charge me.
Right. Okay.
And right. she's hot.
The doctor?
Oh God.
The weed doctor? Always hot.
The weed doctor, super
hot. King Oreshme. When I say the specs, okay, this is in reference to the specs on the cars. He said, when I said the specs on the cars, I mean acceptance criteria for the parts that go into the car. Basically, the nuts, bolts, frames, blocks, pistons, whatever goes into a car. I didn't mean the performance specs. My bad. Because we brought up the comparison.
Oh, no, and I read that, and I also, I was for a while I was an SPC coordinator, which is a statistical process control analysis guy. And what you basically do is you go and you've got metric gauges that read things, and there's like maybe 12 different gaps in the car. Say where the hood meets the front quarter panel on the left side. There's a specific place that you measure, and that gap has to be within this certain, and you go through and you do every 7th car, just to get an idea.
Right.
And then anytime that, you get 2 gaps in a car, you have to put an orange sticker on it, and they'll pull it. And so I'm doing my quality job, and I'm meticulously doing this. And this guy named Charles Hubner, whatever his fucking name was, he was in charge of assembly. So he pulls me in there and he says, Nash, what the fuck are you doing? Well, I said, my job, man. Like Ford, wants me to. I work for Ford Quality. He goes, motherfucker, you work for me. I got to put numbers out. I'm like, okay. And then I swear, like every car after that, like was like they just thought that they had bought me off or something. I was just like, holy fuck. Hey, Clarence, this one doesn't have a hood.
Pass it through. They'll never notice.
Yeah, that's good. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Like, so, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, I see what they do. Then they come back and say, how did this car pass? And they fire you.
Wow.
About that time, I was working Friday, Saturday nights at a strip joint and started making a couple hundred fucking bucks there. And I was single. The scenery was unbelievable. I started getting fringes, started dating a girl out of there. I said, this fucking getting up at fucking being on the plant floor at 6:45.
That was it.
That was it.
So would you say that was, I mean, you can't speak for everybody, but was that a commonplace thing in other departments there, that they would overlook probably not big safety issues, but I mean, you're talking about like the performance of the hood, right?
Right. I mean,
the doors
I would probably just make a correlation to, nah, that was the case, and there would be like huge recalls. Oh, whoops.
Yeah,
Whoopsie
that whole
daisy.
thing.
Wasn't of the top 5 payoffs of all time, isn't Volkswagen number 4?
I don't know, is it?
Corporate payoffs? I think so.
Yeah, but it feels like every 6 months there's one of those letters with the red recall band on it in my mailbox for one of our cars. It's like, it's nonstop. What should have been recalled was that fucking OceanGate vessel that went underseas.
Gosh.
We have to address it just because we talked about it so much last week. The tragic postscript to this that I do not understand. Steve, bring up this graphic here. Just
have you heard any of the correlations between this and the conspiracy of the
single gunman, magic bullet?
No, Titanic. Where fucking Alston was like, there was like, like fucking like Morgan, like all these different guys were supposed to be on the Titanic, and Ashton was the only one that ended up getting on it. And Ashton was the only one that opposed the federalization of the bank, and he went down with the Titanic, and then like the following January in Jekyll Island, the other fucking 5 guys got together and basically started printing money, baby.
Okay, no, didn't wasn't on
one
that.
of the guys that was on this
Mm-hmm.
on this the little sub gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how true this is, but it's just one of those. I'm gonna sound like fucking the guy that says Biden's fucking, but he is a direct ancestor to, if you watch the movie Titanic, the old couple that get dressed up and lay in the bed.
Yeah.
The guys, yeah. He is an ancestor to those people that died on the Titanic. One of the cats that was on that fucking gimmick.
Could be. I don't know. Would be wildly ironic.
Yeah.
But maybe that's that.
But wouldn't that be ironic?
Or
would we actually call it ironic, or would we have to call Alanis Morissette? Or we could call Sarah Silverman and ask her.
We'd use it correctly.
If it's ironic.
They ever talk about what Sarah Silverman? We're both fans, so I might have brought this up.
Huge.
I got a jury duty notice in the mail today, the card, and I guess in New York you used to have to like fill out a little questionnaire and send it back. Now you do it all online. But she said when she got hers, I guess in an effort to get disqualified, she wrote across the card, "I love chinks," and mailed it back. She probably wasn't called. I'm going to try it on the computer. I have to log in to write that now, but
Don't you think if you walked in with a Trump T-shirt on, you could get disqualified?
you know, that's interesting. That is interesting. You know, in addition to, I want to see that graphic one more time to see the Titanic, and we can bring this up here. So sea level being 0, okay, and then however many thousand feet we're down, 12,000, 13,000 feet here, right? And so the lowest living, looks like 10,000 feet is the deepest whale dive that the living mammal, the whale, can achieve. The Titanic came to rest at 12,500, which was the same presumed depth of the Titan submarine. Was there ever confirmation that it made it all the way down?
No, but they did. The last thing that they've actually heard from the Titan submarine was somebody was fucking chanting the tune "Rock Lobster," which I thought was weird.
Right. Was it the Fred Schneider part, or were they? Right.
Rock Lobster. There's a giant clam.
Maybe under different subject matter. I don't know. But the deepest dive in a manned submarine? 35,656 feet. Now, I'm presuming this is a proper,
Looks like a condom.
massive, looks like something, it looks like a, going to metamorphosize into a
looks
butterfly or something
Looks
hanging
like
off.
that movie that got the Oscar, with kind of like the Creature of the Black Lagoon in it.
But so
Steve will know what that is.
when I'm talking about
Here it is. Here's the
13,000 feet down, that's actually a third of what the deepest manned submarine dive did with 35,858 feet.
Shape of Water. That's what I was referring to. That's what that thing on the right-hand side kind of looks like the Shape of Water cat.
Yes, do remember that. The only thing less safe than that fucking vehicle, that vessel, was the Osprey Omega incident in the ring, the Tiger Driver.
I thought that was called getting rear-ended in a Pinto, that move. Jesus.
For anyone who hasn't watched, it's been all over the place. So the top there, you're seeing execution in Japan.
Oh,
Jesus Christ. There's just no fucking
look at that fucking. Can we just see just the bottom one? It's like,
yeah, the bottom one is Osprey. So,
Kenny, you make way too much fucking money to be taking that bump.
Yeah. So, all right, let's just talk about the. I've never taken.
You know what? This is heat, and I think I have a part of this because of when I mean, number one, Osprey's got serious heat with me because he just almost crippled my favorite wrestler, which is that's fucked up. That's fucking bullshit. But the fact that we asked if he fucking sold any merch, and Kenny jumped on the bandwagon, and this is how he takes care of him. I don't know, man. It's kind of fucking kabuki-ish to me.
Makes your giant power bomb look like
it makes it look like Mysterio and Eddie fucking just
Exactly.
going through a fucking chain wrestling move.
But okay, so I just think it was a botched shot. It just looked to me like he
Doesn't
he did,
look like the greatest worker in the world would do something like that. I'd drop that down to a 3-star just on fucking safety. I'm sorry.
well, it just looks like poor execution.
Yeah,
I know there are larger theories out there. It really just looks like
I'm gonna go with the Larry David on that. Pretty sure he fucked that up. Look at that. I'm sorry, but the first thing to hit is his fucking bean.
right,
I mean,
as opposed to the shoulders
back and to the left.
to the left.
Back and to the left. Hell, Osprey had him at a fucking turkey shoot.
So is the position of the knees, Osprey's knees, perhaps too far out, which
Well, let me ask you a
forced.
question. Why is it that fucking Kenny's knees hit and the other cat's feet hit?
Right, because he's too far over. He should be rolled further onto his shoulders, where his knees would not be able to.
He dropped him. The cat up top dropped him more. I would say maybe a 45 degree instead of fucking just basically just straight. I mean, I don't think the guillotine had that strict of a fucking movement in it. The one that Kenny took.
Yeah.
That's
This
bullshit. And the thing is, it's just like, is it worth it, man?
Wait, is this not just one of the risks of the business?
Fuck that.
Is anybody?
You know what?
Anybody at fault?
That's like saying, you know what, man? That's the risk you take when you go down in a fucking man-made sub with an Xbox controller. That's just the risk you take.
Well, but your career isn't going down in the sub. Your career is wrestling, right? So you kind of have to.
That guy the guy that owned that fucking company.
Well, he could have run up and down all he wanted in the damn thing, but putting the other people in for the joyride is different. I mean, could you not?
Joyride plus $1 million, but
right, $250 a pop, right?
Yeah.
But could you not have a serious injury in any given wrestling match? Whether it's a high risk move. Anytime those vertebrae compression moves, pile drivers, tombstones, all that stuff.
Of course you can, but I'll guarantee I'll take my Vegas odds of working a standard Hulk Hogan match over fucking working that bullshit super strong. Let's get let's get the accolades of match of the year bullshit. What does match of the year get you? I mean, so Meltzer says you had match of the year. Does Meltzer cut that motherfucker like $1 million? Like, is there anything?
No, it's bragging rights is all it is, or recognition.
Bragging rights,
recognition, whatever. But
if it puts a fucking 3 inches on your cock, great. If it don't, who fuck that shit? Because you know what it's going to do? It's going to make your dick not work because you're not going to feel anything from your neck down.
So where do you draw the line? So where do you draw the line? What's acceptable? What isn't acceptable?
I've never taken a pile driver.
Serious?
No. I've never given one. I don't do backdrops. I don't take backdrops. I gave backdrop. If somebody fucking like Sean would say, "Give me a backdrop," fine, but like I I'll do it because you're a great athlete. I just to me, the last thing I want to give Sean's a fucking power bomb because he sure as fuck can't take that.
But is there anything in the training now?
No.
In WWE, let's say, let's take WWE, biggest wrestling company in the world.
No, they've got the fuck. You can go down there. They've got a ring that has basically platforms that you can stand on in the corners to fucking work on your aerial moves. There's big fucking water mats to land on. You can do all that, and you can fucking go over it a million fucking times. But
But
it's
are there any
just
restrictions? Are there any restrictions on what would be taught? Are they allowing it to become too risky? Is I guess what I'm saying, or are there limitations on what they would allow in a WWE ring? Would a Tiger Driver?
I wouldn't. I mean, these fucking guys give each other fucking shit on the apron, where the fucking wood meets the steel.
Yeah.
The most unforgiving play. They give fucking a razor's edge into the top turnbuckle.
Right.
I mean, the force of that is basically pushing the cervical forward, no matter where you land, whether it's your fucking, whether it's your cervical, whether it's your thoracic, whatever it is. There's a fucking good chance that you could jerk that fucking that disc and cause permanent damage. And for what?
So should we dial it back? Should companies dial back what's allowed? We don't have to go back to the Bill Watts, nothing off the top rope, but should they dial back what's acceptable in a ring?
Show me the numbers of broken necks before the German suplex became a fucking staple in professional wrestling. I don't remember any. When they started doing those Germans, because it's not necessarily the one. It's like fucking CTE. It's the onslaught. It's the fucking 10 years
It's
of
the
taking that.
aggregation of that punishment on
Right.
your
And
head
then
and
finally
neck
it just,
yeah.
finally you bend over to pick up a light bulb and you're paralyzed. And you're like, how the fuck did that happen? Because you got dropped on your head. It's like me. Like, fuck. I go in the gym. There are days, man, it's just like, okay, I can't I did that movement two workouts ago, but for some reason that motherfucker's killing me today, so I can't do that. I've got to find something else to hit that.
How's your neck taking to the stems, by the way?
I mean, I think an improvement. Like, I mean, I can see like an improvement just in everything. My shoulders are up. I just got my blood work back, and
How often do you get? I feel like every 8 days you have blood work.
no, every 3 months.
Oh,
So
still a lot of blood work.
yeah, but I mean,
I'm not criticizing. It's just
no. I mean,
it's
to
a
me, it's one of
commitment.
those. So my coronary risk, okay, my triglycerides were 80.
Don't brag.
My total cholesterol was 115. HDL, which is your good cholesterol, was 57. LDL was 42. Cholesterol to HDL ratio is 2.0. CPR, which is C-reactive protein, which is the fucking inflammatory that basically causes heart disease, 0.4. Thyroid, T3, 4.3. T4, 1.5. TSH, 3.4. And my PSA number for prostate problems is 0.6.
So they can predict prostate issues through blood work.
Once you hit, if you're 4.0 and above, you got to start really getting that fucking prostate looked at, preferably by a professional.
Yeah, well, the average Saturday night. Talking about bumps, it is the 25th anniversary of Foley going off the cage. Remember that, the Hell in the Cell?
Yeah, and the first time I saw Taker said that when he gave him the choke slam and he went through and he hit, he said that he looked down, he said, I thought he was dead. I can't even imagine, even if it was for fucking 5 seconds before he moved, how Mark must have felt up there.
Mm.
I mean, and Shano's done some fucking crazy ass. I mean, it's one thing if you're you're hungry and you're trying to feed the family and you're not the most athletic guy in the world, and that was kind of Mick's whole thing was Mick would always take risks that nobody else would take. But when it came down to it, and Mick got beat up to the point where he couldn't, then Mick fucking was such a great storyteller, and it was still, but he always,
Would you have delivered it if Mick said, "Throw me off the"?
See, I'm one of those motherfuckers, man. The psychology of a cage, if you put a top on it, because that's what when I did that Hell in a Cell with Triple H, that's why they put Mick in as a special guest referee, because I told him, I said, I'll do it, don't have a problem, I'll get color, I'll do anything you want in there, but it's not leaving the cage, because that defeats the purpose of what a cage is. The cage is for two people to settle it, not two people to use that as another apparati.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right. So you wouldn't
and
have been up there in the first place, is what
I wouldn't have been up
saying.
there. No, fuck no. It's stupid.
I remember Mick talking about the fall through the cage being much more devastating than the one where he went off.
Well, yeah, because he went over with momentum, and then he also had at least, I'm not saying it's huge, but maybe 3.5 feet before that fucking table crumbled.
Right.
Back in the old days with stunt guys, like they fucking we used to jump off like incredibly high. They used fucking cardboard boxes. They didn't use those crash pads. Back in the day, man, guys like Terry Leonard and guys like that, those fucking old school guys. And Terry Leonard's the guy that did the Indiana Jones with the bullwhip and went along the fucking underneath the car.
Oh, wow.
And that's shot at like fucking 35, 40. I mean, Terry Leonard, if nobody knows who Terry Leonard is, he's an amazing second unit director now. He was our second unit director on Ninja Turtles, my first film. But Terry Leonard, like his stunt work is, it's just unbelievable. And there's so many guys that have followed in his footsteps. Like those are the people to me that are the most just unappreciated. Like you look at Dwayne's body double, his stunt guy.
Mm-hmm.
Watch him walk around. Watch Dwayne walk around with them fucking loafers on, those tight ass slacks. And watch his fucking stunt double walk around looking like Jim Otto. So.
But that first, the fall through the cage, there was a chair involved too. A chair came down
what
potatoed him
it
in
is
the face.
he goes through, and I think that I don't know if they planned that to be that, but it was so fast that it basically, like, that didn't stop his fall. Like, he didn't ride that down at all. It just basically, he hit it, it cleared, and then the next thing to break Mick's fall was fucking the planks of wood.
Those lovely soft WWE rings in the 90s, yeah.
And that's also, I mean, it's just like when a big motherfucker picks you up and gives you just like a sidewalk slam and drops you from like 6'6" and just drops you. I mean, just the elevator stopping that quick and you landing with 300 plus pounds of body weight. After 240, those fucking boards don't give. They might as well be cement.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But it was such a Mick's done so many things. I mean, this is one of many. This is not an outlying moment in his career. He was certainly, this became his calling card, doing the things no one would do. And even just, I remember the early WCW stuff before shit got so crazy, just those elbow drops off the apron onto the concrete floor.
And my
He was
thing is,
taking full ass impact on those.
that's such a different category of a human being.
Mick's ability to
put that into a match, make it work psychology wise, and make it be on him. He was the one taking the abuse. He wasn't giving him like, if he fucked up jumping off the top, it was on Mick. Like, and Mick knew that.
Right.
Mick, everything that Mick did, the only thing I think that Mick would take back was when he was handcuffed and Rock hit him with those chair shots.
It was stiffing him with the chairs, yeah.
And I think after the first or second one, Mick was out.
Yeah.
And couldn't fucking, and he just kept taking them. I think that probably did more damage to Mick, and was probably one of the things that, if he had to take back, that was one of them, because that was huge. That was a damaging,
Yeah. The shot off the cage onto the announce table, one of the things that won't be talked about, but WWE's coverage of that, having the cameras positioned above the cage and not just the floor view. I mean, that's horrific enough, but being able to capture it on that side above the cage, so you see the whole thing develop.
Oh,
top down.
That
production was.
You're never going to outproduce them.
Yeah.
And
they certainly knew how to cover it, and because of that, the visual is something that'll never be forgotten, akin to like Snuka atop the cage at Madison Square Garden,
Morocco,
going on to Morocco. Yeah, that'll never be forgotten. It's such an iconic moment. So far less dangerous, obviously, but Mick's.
What fucking big ass Rikishi coming off the top was fucking pretty impressive.
Rikishi did a lot with with a dude that size.
Oh man, and the thing about Quiche, man, I mean, I've taken a ton of splashes from him. Not one fucking time Quiche ever stiffed me. I mean, it was just like,
yeah,
that's what got Mabel all his heat. Mabel was hurting Samoans.
Right.
Yeah, there's fucking Quiche. That's the one in the back of that fucking dump truck, I think, of dirt, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Rikishi was great. A lot of fun. It was such a great era. Such a great era. Listen to me. Oh, they don't make music like that,
man.
They don't make music today like they used to back then.
Like, you go and you archive some fucking funk Mick Foley shit from over in Japan. Some of those crazy Bob Wire, you watch some of those, you're just like, Funk was another one, man. Funk was,
their matches in ECW, which were
like, how long did it take people to realize that the getting hit with a fluorescent light wasn't that big of a deal?
How long? Well,
it's not. It's like that's kind of,
The pop is very effective, though, when the gas is omitted, the sound from it.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, though, that it's just, it got so overused, because like anything, like you can't Mick can't take that fall through the cage every night. Like, the things that are special because they're they take such a toll out of the human being that does it.
Yeah.
No matter what's said, I'm just glad, because I like Kenny. I'm just glad that he didn't get hurt.
It's miraculous that he didn't
Yeah.
get hurt.
But then again, and I'm telling this, I I got kicked in the chin by Scott
Uh-huh.
and got a stinger and had a brachial plexus injury, and they gave me a med pack and I worked through it. And lo and behold, I get knocked out a year later in Worcester, and they do a CT scan of me, and they're like, "So, when was the first time you broke your neck?"
See, that's the other thing too. We're saying he's not injured.
He's not going to go. He's not getting an MRI tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's all right. But like you're saying, if this continues, you're really rolling the dice.
All the holy shits and you still got it's in the world. I tell you, man, there's a reason why when Cornette used to say Nash has 5 moves, guess what? I'm 64 fucking years old. I can still do all 5 of them. I can still do all 5 of them. There's not one of them I can't do.
If you're booked tomorrow,
if I'm booked, if fucking
you got the elbow, the knee, the flipper, the fucking hair.
I got the snake eyes.
Yep.
I got the power bomb. I can still do the squisher. Shit. Big boot. I got all my shit. It still look good. Got first 2 rows of abs in. Fuck. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. Oh, wait. And I have psychology. And I'm a selfish prick.
The lost art.
So.
You might even get the kind of coverage that CM Punk's been getting all week, because it was reported that someone got angry at Dynamite and left angry. Kevin, there you go. These reports that came up throughout the week that started, I guess, as
Dave
maybe a story.
That is summer of '92 in that photo.
Go back to that. Hold on. The photo of Meltzer came up.
It looks like a fucking. Dave go to fucking Olin Mills and get a fucking Easter shot? What the fuck is the little hands up fucking gimmick? What is that?
Taking a double feed right there.
Oh, fucking Trump's going this way. Dave's just
taking them both.
Dave's taking it fucking just hog wild.
Kevin, what is the story? Is there a story anymore with Punk? Even like we know his identity in the business, the guy that doesn't compromise, doesn't know what he want to do.
My best friend on earth, Scott Hall.
Sure.
CM Punk's going to be the first professional wrestler to die of a yeast infection. That's what Scott Hall
was. That
said.
A Scott Hall quote?
That was directly from Scott to me in the front seat of a car.
See, but my contention here has nothing to do with Punk at all. It's the coverage. It's the wrestling media coverage of something that isn't a fucking story, because they have to just keep putting CM Punk's name in it. Who gives a fuck? He was
okay. So the show in Chicago did 800,000 views. The next show he was on did 500,000 views. That's in one show. It's like, put Taker on fucking Raw.
Yeah, no, I get it. And there's video of the houses. You saw the house at TV, right?
And my whole thing is too, is just like, everything is, because there isn't the next big thing. You take Roman and Brock out of the equation. Who you pick him. You pick the next Hulk Hogan. You pick the next Stone Cold. You pick
anybody anyone under 30 on the roster?
You pick Roman. You pick me I would say fucking Robbie's kids got the best fucking chance. Breaker, Braun. He's got the best chance.
What can you do about the mic there?
Turn him fucking heel. Give him fucking Heyman. You know, pull up that whatever the his name is.
We're scrolling down through the roster right now. Those of you listening, we're looking for tomorrow's Hulk Hogan or tomorrow's Roman Reigns.
Okay, LA Knight. There he is. Go back.
Yeah, LA Knight.
Okay, LA Knight. Pull that motherfucker up. Am I the only one that sees like an absolute ripoff of The Rock? To the point where he cut the promo on fucking Logan Paul or whatever his name is. He said, stick it out. The only thing he didn't do was turn the motherfucker sideways. Jesus Christ. Are you guys like, what is everybody have amnesia? There's nothing original. Oh man, his promos. Finally, LA Knight has come back as a white guy. If you don't put that money in the bank and Paul's hand,
Logan Paul, right?
So you can the rest of the year say, oh fuck yeah, but a wild card is, will Logan Paul be there?
He may show up. Sure. Right.
Yeah, if you don't get some mileage out of that, then uncle. And I don't know this guy, LA Knight. I don't know him, but I'll tell you one thing, man.
I see the eyebrow. I'll tell you that.
I got a text message from him. I'm just going to read what it says. Hey, Nash, I know you don't know me. I've got an idea of this character. He's called the Scorpion King. What do you think? This is bullshit. Okay, Rock was the Scorpion King.
God damn it! That from LA? The LA sent you that?
Yeah. Then he says, what's this one here? Yeah, he said that he's in talks with Disney. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Don't do it, LA. It won't last. They won't stay behind you.
LA Knight. Fast and Furious 11.
Well, to continue the discussion, yeah, I scrolled the roster. I scrolled it today while we were on the phone, and you know, I would love if there were interesting things to talk about. I would love if the business kept us guessing. I love when those shooty little things happen, man. But
go slow so I can look at keep. I mean, not slow, but you know, just enough where I can.
There are established people there, but I'm talking
about... I mean, I'll tell you, the guys that I think have a chance are Priest.
Damian Priest, okay.
Damian Priest. I think Priest could you could do something with him.
But if we're talking Hogan, Austin...
Did anybody see the Bad Bunny clip on YouTube where he's off the voiceover track and he's like screeching?
Oh no!
Look, can somebody please find that? It'll be Bad Bunny lip syncs and he's off as fuck. I swear to God, it's as brutal as Night. I mean, I'm sorry, not as brutal as LA Knight because he's actually not doing an impersonation of Bad. I guess he would be because he's lip syncing some bullshit or whatever. He's actually screeching though. He's not even lip syncing it. It's like I think they lost the track, like they lost the background track, and it's him. Like,
okay,
yeah, here it is. Here it is right here. Now.
So now he doesn't know that the music isn't playing because it's in his earplugs, in his in-ear monitors, but he doesn't know that it's cut off from the audience. That's brilliant.
Boy, I tell you what, that's special talent right there.
Talent. Let me tell you who is a talent, a musical talent. Brandon Etheridge. Now, no one's heard of him, and that's fine, but you'll know him now.
Oh, this is the guy you told me about.
Yes, find him on Twitter or on YouTube.
I hope
So
he
takes popular memes and he writes a score to it on the piano, on the keyboard, so that it fits as music under each. So I pulled a few of them here. Here's we all know the "We'll Do It Live" by Bill O'Reilly. Here is Brandon Etheridge turning it into a song.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. No. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks. 5, 4, 3. That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Every once in a while, social media redeems itself to me when it shows me that someone out there can actually use it in an entertaining, different way and show some creativity. There's a Hogan one he did from a Hogan promo with the Ultimate
Warrior. You didn't tell me the Bad Bunny thing was entertaining?
That was, but I don't think he meant to be on social media doing that.
Okay, I see what you're saying there.
In a very unintentional way, that was.
Okay.
Here, let's see a little Hulkster here.
Hogan, what is happening?
Well, you know me, Gene, we really don't know what we're dealing with here, man. And I'm just kind of a little worried about locking up here. Because we just might blow the whole planet up, you know. Everybody knows that Hulkamania is the strongest force in this universe. But when I hit that ring and I saw what the madness was all about, I realized there was a whole nother universe out there, a whole nother frontier, and the power of the madness and the mania just blew my 24-inch guns out.
Hulk Hogan
actually made it a better promo somehow. So go find Brandon Etheridge, for God's sakes, and enjoy it.
I would have left it at Riley.
Well, you know what? I had to get it in because
I would have left it at Riley.
It was Hogan. It was wrestling related.
Fuck you. That's. Should know by now. The more wrestling we do, the worse it gets.
Oh, BLUECHEW. BLUECHEW is here for us yet again for our stiff one of the week.
Yes.
Oh, it is summer. Let's talk about sex, guys. Remember the days when you were always ready to go. Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up. BLUECHEW.com. What are they? What are they? What are they? You know what they are. They're a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets at a fraction of the cost. Take them anytime, day or night. Pop them in, chew them, plan ahead, and be ready to go. The process, very simple. Sign up at BLUECHEW.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. No going to the pharmacy, sitting talking to the doctor about your wanka. You just do it online and then check your mailbox. You're going to consult with a licensed medical professional, and once you're approved, the prescription arrives within days. Does it work? Ha! Try it for yourself, and you're going to be able to try it for free. We've got a special deal for you. Try it for free when you use the promo code NASH at checkout. You're going to pay $5 for shipping. That's it, but the tablets are free. BlueChew.com, promo code Nash. Receive your first month free. What have you got to lose if you haven't tried this? Do it now, guys. BlueChew.com for more details, important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this stiff one of the week. For this, we will go to WCW and an old friend of yours, maybe Vampiro. How'd you get on with Vampiro?
Fine.
Okay.
We didn't do it. I didn't have a whole lot of. I mean, we talked and shit. I don't think we worked. I don't know if we ever worked.
You mightn't have. No.
Remember what did he have? Did he have a best of 5 against Booker or best of 5? He had a best of 5 against either Benoit or Booker that was really good.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Talented as fuck, but had some issues with Sting. And they came up here on an edition of You Shoot. So let's see what Vamp has to say about Sting.
Really?
Yeah.
Adam DeVries, looking back, why did the Sting feud not pan out as well as it could be? Was it creative issues or two performers not clicking?
Well, let me phone Sting. I'll ask him.
What would he tell me?
Steve, this guy wants to know why the... What do you want to know?
He wants to know why it didn't work out. Did you guys not click well together?
Because you suck. No, you didn't suck, brother. No, and you weren't jealous. No, don't say that. Yeah, I know you found God. I know. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, bro. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. All right. Let's move to Emerson Winter. Did you ever...
So...
That's not a very good clip.
When you drill down more, there were other ones about Steve on there, but I just thought that Vamp was...
Anytime you throw you found God in it is part of the... That's like... That's tired.
But the heat stemmed, I believe, from the makeup. Believe it or not.
No.
You're not buying that?
No, I've known Steve his whole, well, not his whole career, but fucking, I've known him since 90. He was, at any point, he was never petty.
Well, it would sound like something very petty, yes. If someone said, I'm the only guy here with makeup.
That sounds petty,
but there are other instances in that interview before that, I couldn't play a 5-minute clip, where he talks about someone advising Vampiro that, listen, he's had the makeup for a long time, and Vamp had to say, I've been wearing this since '84. I'm not going to take the makeup off. So someone acting as an intermediary advised him that maybe he should lose the makeup before he worked Sting. I wasn't there. This is Vampiro's take. They look perfectly fine.
because they looks almost like they're almost like could pass for identical twins, except for the giant amount of ink on one guy.
Well, but the makeup is similar, so that was what was being intoned.
One looks like a skull, the other one looks like the crow.
They didn't say they were exact, but it's similar, and it's the black and white and the eyes.
And he's, I don't know.
All right. Well, something
whatever. If that's the best we got for the week, we'll just.
Yeah.
Our
ratings will probably go down.
Well, no, they'll go up. They'll go up 7, but we'll be at 6. They'll go up 7, and we'll be at 14.
That's called chartable math, is what that's called.
That's Apple chartable.
All right, Florida man or Jersey guy. Hopefully this one makes Nash happy. Florida man or Jersey guy. 2 headlines. One, it's an incident with somebody from Florida. One from a courtesy of a Jersey guy. Nash is pretty close to perfect with these, and now I've just pulled funny headlines in the past. Now I try to do something to fuck you up, and it tends not to work still. So I don't know. You kind of got a hang of it. So all right, here are the 2 headlines. Actual headlines. Man arrested in airport over an AR-15 and fake U.S. Marshal badge in his bag. The second headline, teacher fired after making students write their own obituaries. First one, man arrested in airport
I'm going to
over.
go first. First guy is Florida. Second one is New Jersey.
All right, I got you.
Okay, the reason I said that was asking a kid to write in Florida to.
I thought that my thinking was you'd see the AR-15 maybe and go to Florida with that, but it was actually a Jersey guy. Jersey guy arrested in Newark Airport.
I would, yeah, no,
let's see, he was learned the hard way. What's his name? Seretse Calden, arrested at Newark Airport, waiting to board a flight to Fort Lauderdale, where he would have been welcomed with the AR-15. Agents from the TSA had been doing routine screenings, checked baggage, discovered.
There's a really good chance that this guy could have been a Florida guy. he just got busted on his way home.
I'd say I did check that, and it does say a New Jersey man recently. Okay. So yeah, I mean, because he could have been flying back home. True, but no, wasn't the case. And then
I needed a loss.
Now the teacher one, if I added one detail to the headline, but I used the headline as it appeared. If I added one detail to the headline, you would have gotten it, because it says, as reported by Fox 35, Jeffrey Keene, a teacher at Dr. Phillips High School in Orlando, was fired over a lesson plan in which he asked students to write their own obituaries in an effort to teach gun safety. So they immediately fired him. I think it was less the obituary than the fact that the obituary...
Yeah, a little bit of a... So what you're basically doing is you're giving me cold cases with no forensics now.
That's good. But no, I gave you... I don't want to tinker with the headline. The headline was Florida teacher fired after making students write their own.
I needed to lose one.
You did. Make you humble. The news item for me.
I guess Oliver, I do the job for you today.
You did the job.
Maybe you do the job. I can't believe it.
The first thing to suck was the stiff one of the week, and then the second thing to suck was Kevin Nash. The news story of the week for me was that Vince McMahon, apparently, by all reports, made some changes to Raw. I think the opening match was scrapped, which was advertised. And then SmackDown, from what I read, was heavily rewritten by him. And the piece that I last saw, there were several pieces on this during the week, but the piece I last saw talked about the dissatisfaction on the part of your friend Paul Levesque. And to quote, I don't know if I have the exact quote here, but I did, Dave Meltzer did cover this and say that it's Vince. Here's the quote. It's got to be frustrating for writers. It's got to be frustrating for Paul Levesque. But the thing is, it's Vince, right? And you can't say anything. That's what somebody brought up to me. If you're a writer, you can't say anything to Vince. Even if you're Paul Levesque, you can't say anything to Vince because you're fucked if you say anything to Vince. So you can't say anything. So here we have the sale of the company, or the merger, the takeover, whatever you want to call it, the 51 to 49% with Endeavor. Vince embroiled in the payoff scandal, leaves the company. The sale happens. He comes back saying he categorically says he's not going to be involved in creative. Now apparently he's coming and rewriting the shows. So this was just a few month long pulling the wool over the eyes, finalize the sale. Okay, nothing's different. We just did this for the sale. Is it safe to say this?
I have not talked to Paul in 10 days, maybe 8 days. I mean, I'll just.
I'm not looking for you to betray a
No,
confidence.
no, I would never. I don't. I got in hot water with one of my very close friends over saying something on the show, so I will never divulge anything, because a lot of times I think something that's just, two guys talking and it's just kind of funny, and it's like it has repercussions that are fucking pretty, So I just see my meter on what I can say and can't say is I pretty much don't give a fuck.
Well, that's why people love you, quite honestly, and that's why people tune into first your shoot interviews. Now this is because you spoke from the heart, off the cuff. But just doing your like, well, if I had a knowing Paul as I do, or if it was me there.
Yeah, I don't think that. And I'm not going to speak for my friend, but just knowing the health issue that he had and knowing everything else, you're going to put it this way: he's not going to toss and turn in his bed at night over the fact that his shit's being rewritten.
Oh, so you don't think that he would have cared?
Oh, I'm sure he cared at that moment, and then fucking took a deep breath and went, you know what? I guarantee you he didn't fucking come to the next set of TVs with fucking a completed, like, there's no way that he's going to do that again.
Walk in with a completed show?
Yeah, because
it's
like I used to tell people all the time, don't tell me to get in my car and drive. I need directions, because you're going to give me, okay, I need you in fucking Tampa. Well, fuck, I wish you would have told me that. I'm in fucking Cleveland. Like, you can't just jump on and fucking tell somebody, oh, by the way, this is our new direction, because you could be going in such a different. So at that point, it's just like, I'm not going to start my car. I'm not going anywhere. I'm the cop sitting in the fucking in the mall waiting for somebody to go by, so I'm not going to be patrolling.
But it's still his job. It's still his position, and there's got to be a sense of pride in that. It's no different than a showrunner on a sitcom or on The Sopranos or something. When you're in the middle of crafting something, storylines, angles, characters.
It's not live. Nothing's live. None of those fucking showrunners, nothing they're doing can be changed 7 minutes before it goes live.
Which is even worse.
Exactly. Which makes me say, fuck it. I was there during that CM Punk thing. Fucking Phil and I would be in the back looking at each other, and it'd be fucking 3 minutes before fucking the show started. We'd have no idea what the fuck we were going to say to each other. And they'd hand you a fucking rewrite as fucking as the open starting. And I'd fucking, in the old days, you'd go, you know what, man, fuck you. You give it to me that late, I'm just going. I'll just go out there and fucking say what the fuck I want to.
But do you think that Paul or anyone in the company, Stephanie, would have known that the plan to force the sale through would be Vince says, in light of what's going on, I'm going to retire and leave, and then just let the ink dry, and then you come back? Did they know that this was the plan? If this was the plan?
Okay.
Or was this something between Ari and him?
If I'm Ari.
Right.
Okay. And I'm buying this company. Am I buying a company under the premise that I'm going to get a 54-year-old head man or a fucking 78-year-old head man? which one, from a business standpoint, moving forward, would seem like the direction you would want to go? And I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never met the man. I don't know, Ari, if he
Right.
walked in here naked. But if he walked in here naked, I probably know, because I say, fucking, I made
What are you
that
doing
happen.
in the studio? I was alone
Yeah,
here, and now there's a naked
yeah,
guy.
and now
Right.
there's a naked guy, and I said, if you walked in here naked,
Usually doesn't happen until 10 when we're off the air.
exactly.
But all right, but a 75-year-old guy amidst all these charges and the payoffs, or someone without that on there? I think his leaving had less to do with him versus Triple H being in control than it did the shitstorm in the media that was maybe fogging up some of the sale.
So this is the first time that there's been concrete evidence that Vince has rewritten the shows.
Well, you suggested it.
There was
a few weeks ago. A few months ago.
There was. I want to think it was the show after, whenever fucking it was. I think it was Rollins again. Like somebody they started the way to the ring, and all of a sudden it was like they weren't in the ring, and something else happened. That was what.
Oh,
what
that
happened.
was more recent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that.
I'm
what
talking
happened.
about.
No, that was no. This is the first time that this happened. Whether it was the TV after Mania or whatever the fuck it was that, and it was Rollins again that got fucking yanked off the first segment, and something else happened. Or it was Reigns was one of those guys.
No, I think it was Rollins in the ring and then out
in
of
the ring, and then fucking when
Yeah.
you came back from commercial break and he wasn't in there.
Yeah.
So it was Rollins again this time, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the opening match was supposed to be who was it? Ciampa and Rollins.
It's almost like The Jerk, the movie The Jerk. He hates these fucking cans.
Rollins motor
Die gas pumper.
Great film.
Yes.
But
really trying to be accurate.
So do you think that this would have been something that was agreed to before? Did Paul and Stephanie know when Vince said he was leaving that this would be a ruse to get the sale through and then he'd be back?
I don't see Paul writing a show to have it rewritten. I think that they would sit down. If this was the plan, they would be sitting down right now. They would be writing the shows together.
Is there any way that that's happening and everything's being misreported that Paul's upset and he's
idea.
actually complicit in this?
I've got 2 more seasons of fucking Suits left.
Then you'll get to Raw.
I don't give a fuck about anything else. All I know is
you and your girl Megan.
And I looked on IMDb and it looks like she's not in the last season. So
you might not even watch that one, huh?
No, I'll finish it up. I have to, because I mean I'm too invested.
What happens when I'm still on the McMahon thing? I'm too interested in this. I'm a Vince fan. I've always been a Vince fan.
I'm a huge Vince fan.
And but is his sensibility what could carry creative now? I'm not talking about branding, any of the marketing stuff that he was great at. Could he be? Is he in touch? Is he still in touch? Let's just put it.
I haven't sat down and talked to Vince and had a conversation since Paul's 50th birthday. I haven't talked to Vince in 4 years. He reached out when T died.
Mm-hmm.
I always wish him a happy Father's Day every year.
Mm-hmm.
And wish him a happy birthday. I mean, no matter what anybody says, if Vince McMahon doesn't bring me in as Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, I'm definitely not sitting with the fucking beautiful fucking Czechian seas behind me. So,
Well, understood.
and I can't believe you didn't notice that the shirt kind of.
I did it. It's a perfect match.
Oh, it's
And,
unbelievable. It's just it's within the black kind of almost like that fucking dragon's wearing the fucking hat. The more I look at that dragon, I can't tell whether that's fucking Sting or
Vampiro.
Vampiro.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Both black and white.
See
It's
that
kind of
there?
like Steamboat Willie and Felix the Cat.
Well, we'll see what happens in the weeks and months to come.
Did Game Time have any seats on that fucking Titan submarine? Fucking a couple of scalpers. Bet you that fucking 19-year-old Pakistani kid from fucking that was going to school in Pennsylvania would have fucking gave up his fucking spot.
Might have listed them for $235.
Did anybody see like the fucking like the computer animated like what that implosion was like?
No.
You didn't. Nobody saw. Did any of you guys and like Steve? Anybody? Dom?
Oh, that
See
was
how it
terrible to watch.
nobody saw the fucking. They did like a. It's like
a recreate a
Dom
digital.
say he saw it?
Someone said they saw it. Yeah.
Dom, you saw it?
Steve
Steve did. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking brutal. But like to me, I thought that's how it would happen. I thought that's what the pressure would do would basically, because the pressure is on all. It's it basically just would take it in and make it just explode.
So what we're watching here is a graphical recreation of the very uncomfortable flight of the Titan, and this vessel. We're going inside. There's the controller, and the so it's very tight space, and kind of shows where the oxygen was stored in the vessel and how it was dropped, and
how easy it was to play Rainbow Six.
The PlayStation controller that is directing this. So they're literally showing how the controller works. And so they're going through some scenarios of what could have happened, recreating them. The first, it looks like what's going to happen here is that... Okay, I didn't notice what happened there. Oh, short circuit is the second. And what would have happened if there was a short circuit in the battery in the thing? Didn't work. Version 3 of what could have happened.
The debris was consistent with an implosion.
Glass cracked due to high pressure. Version 4.
This isn't showing anything fucking.
Sonar system damaged. Members still trapped inside.
That wasn't the last one, the implosion?
I don't know.
Yeah, they showed it's
what it was on that last one there.
Yeah, they just show it. That's not. It was. There was a much better graphic than.
Well, terrible. Whatever the fuck it was, horrible. And
but the thing is, if you were to see it, it was like it would have been probably the equivalent of being hit by lightning. I mean, it would have been a second.
The instantaneous.
It's compacted and explodes at the same time. There.
Okay, so that's the
That's
one
what you
where
got.
it looks like it just collapses on itself.
It's just, and then it just disintegrates.
Yeah, literally disintegrates. Yeah.
So I mean, not that it makes it any better, but at least to me, to sit down there and to fucking suffocate to death.
Oh, right, yeah, no.
Especially you got your dad's down there, you and your, it's one thing for you're just sitting down there like, oh, we're fucked, and then it just because they said that they got that noise like maybe 50, 60 hours in, there was a noise that would be consistent with that kind of a implosion.
Right. I remember the talk about the noise, but
yeah, so it wasn't like they were down there for, I mean that happened pretty quickly. Steve says he doesn't think Game Time does UK events. That's why it's at 3:00. But
yes, Money in the Bank is 3:00 Eastern, therefore 8:00.
Yeah, in
Greenwich
UK.
Yeah. But listen, if you were able to snag UK tickets, GameTime.co would be the way to go. Take the stress out of ticket purchases. That's what Game Time is all about. And
who's doing something right now? Are the Beach Boys?
The Beach Boys.
Are the Beach Boys out? Who did I see I saw my buddy Marky Ramone was playing last night on Instagram. He was playing drums for the Beach Boys. Where are the Beach Boys at? Can we pull them up and see if they get any?
Yeah, they sure are. Look at that.
Yeah. Let's see what they got in Reno for tickets.
All right. Let's go to Reno, Nevada at the Silver Legacy Casino.
Nice.
And what do we have there? We can get you in for as little as, it looks like $89 over there in Section G. Over there, Section G.
217 is a sweet seat.
Yeah, where was that one?
Right down D, right in the middle, wasn't it?
In the center? Let's see that.
Center by the stage, maybe 4 or 5 rows up. Was there a seat there?
Yeah, look at that.
217. Look at that fucker.
Third row. Front and center, third row. 217. Can't beat that with a stick. And that is...
Do you love me? Do you, surfer? Girl surfer. Every fucking year when the summer comes, man, I drop the top on the Mustang and I put Good Vibrations on. Or Endless Summer, one of those. Usually Endless Summer because it's got all the fucking hits on it. Sloop John B and all those.
Yeah. They were definitely
my first concert I ever went to in my life was the Beach Boys, and my wife's first concert she ever went to was the Beach Boys.
I'm going to blow your mind right now. Your co-host's first concert, technically, was the Beach Boys. They played Giant Stadium after a New York Cosmos game. It was part of the deal. You got the game, they set up the stage, and the Beach Boys did a mini concert. First show I was ever at. Shortly followed by Journey and then Rat, of all things. But yes, the first group I ever saw play live music was the Beach Boys.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just, I don't know. They're as iconic as it gets. 214 for 3 rows back.
You're there.
In Reno.
You're there. Everybody.
That's one of the best apps and one of the best companies.
It's so easy. This is what you're looking at if you're watching.
I'm so proud that they're fucking like they sponsor us.
Yeah, I've used them personally. I mean, I love it, and it was such an easy transaction.
There's so many people that I'm not a big concert goer because me going to a concert is like asking to get fucked with.
Right.
I stand out. It's fucking horrifying. But I've told so many people that like if somebody's coming in, I was going to go to Pearl Jam with my buddy George, but it's just like. I think it said September 11th or whatever show in Chicago. But But I've told some other people, about Pearl Jam, and then I gave them the site and
the code KLIQ. They'll get
do it.
$20 off their first purchase. So guys,
So you're
do
getting
this.
you're getting that Beach Boy ticket for fucking
Under 200.
196, man.
Snag those tickets without the stress with Game Time. Even last-minute tickets. I'm talking day of event. Go on GameTime.co or just download the Game Time app like I did and purchase your tickets. I got them that morning for Bruce that evening. And in 5 minutes, they were in my wallet on my iPhone. I just had to show it when I got there. It's that easy, guys. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Kliq, KLIQ, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code KLIQ, Kliq, for $20 off. Download it today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we're back. Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. Hashtag Ask Nash. Get on your Twitter, guys, and
I have to apologize before we go any further because I've had a really stressful day. I'm putting up with some financial shit that's perplexing to say the least. There's nothing that upsets me more in life than when I know that I'm 100% correct and somebody fucking tells me that I'm not.
But why the apology? You feel that your singing voice was off earlier when you
I just think that I've been a prick tonight, but it's just like I also trained legs and I went heavy, and then it was rude of me to eat my burrito, but fuck, man, I'm like, even right now, I just, legs just kills me. So before everybody fucking,
talks
gets
about the burrito.
Yeah, he goes crazy about shit. You know what? It's real fucking simple. If I annoy you, if I fucking have heat with you, A, I don't give a fuck. B, don't fucking watch. Don't fucking listen. Don't fucking. And another thing, if you
don't wear my makeup in
if
my
you
company.
take the time to fucking type a comment on YouTube, that's more than 3 sentences. It ain't getting read by me. Okay? You can go into constitutional law. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you can't fucking cover your shit in fucking 3 sentences, fuck off.
And that's
'Cause
a heartfelt apology from
You're a
Kevin Nash.
self-righteous motherfucker, and the only reason you're typing that long is A, you ain't getting no pussy. B, you ain't got no fucking friends. C, fucking your mom and dad got you locked in the basement. So I don't give a fuck. But to everybody else, I'm so
apology accepted. Thank you. Thank you for don't go too soft on us now.
I mean, I don't want to fucking ruin my fucking street cred.
Hashtag Ask Nash is how you get at him, like Phil Cole did. And he said, Sean, please make sure Kevin sees this. I've got so many questions. Now, Steve, this is the pic I sent you, the autographed photo of Oz. And I'm loving the inscription. You have to tell me if you did this for all of your autographs from Oz. If you have that, Steve. It says it's first of all the lovely full length body shot, so that we got the full robe. If you ever find that, you should hang on to that. It's gonna be worth a ton of money.
Whoever fucking Conrad gave it to.
There's no place like home is the inscription.
Why wouldn't there be?
Oh, brilliant! Now, Phil.
How fucking enthused do I look? Kevin, as soon as you get done taking this photo, you can take a dump. Thanks.
That's like, can you imagine a company that says, here's your publicity picture that you're going to go out and sign so we can get people excited about you?
On a fucking cinder block wall in the Mobile Civic Center.
Oh, it's like those fucking shots in the backstage at Madison Square Garden in 1977. Hey, Bruno, stand against the wall and hold up the belt. And that was it. It was in every magazine.
Yeah.
Marf Ashworth says, first person I remember removing the mic flag was Kevin Nash. I recall Scott Hudson adding story to it in that NWO didn't get control of Nitro back in 97 or 98. Nash, thoughts on Hudson? He was the UK's prominent commentator with
I always got along
Zabrisco.
with Scott.
Yeah.
I thought that Scott was very cerebral.
But once again, confirmation that that the fans saw you removing the mic flag.
Yeah, that thing, it fucking pissed me off.
Still does, as evidenced by, well, now you have the headphone gimmick, but before that. How about questions from the audience? Who's here?
It didn't fit. It doesn't fit right on this shore.
The rear ones just kind of slide on.
And when I was using that, my cord would go into that thing.
Yes, you have to kind of fold the cord.
Yeah, and then it kept fucking Jimmy and my cord. So it was just after the second time I realized that fucking cube was causing technical difficulties. But like, that's another thing. Anybody that's gonna listen to this motherfucker on Monday when it drops isn't gonna know that fucking I couldn't stay on the fucking air for more than 2 seconds for 40 minutes.
It was like the Lord knew that you were going to be so grouchy today.
Yeah, well, no, it's just that's what happens. See, it's like that's what God does to you. He fucking, if you take a fucking prick pill, he just, I'm sure he'll have some old lady back into me when I go to leave the condo.
Let's see. A live audience. Let's see who's here. Who's here with questions? David says, Kevin, Steiners were one of my favorite tag teams. What was it like working, traveling, and partying with the brothers? And was there ever a tag team that could take them in a shoot?
I mean, they didn't party. They never partied. No, they weren't partiers. Working with them was great because they're both so fucking strong. It's like, big cock strong Goldberg, man. Like a lot of people had problems with Bill, but I liked the fact that Bill was a big strong fucker, and if he picked me up on his shoulder and he could lay me flat. Like I always,
Good point. Right. So working with the big guys.
They were, one time Scotty thought he could do a fucking chicken wing fucking slam on me underneath my fucking like hook me, and it's like Scott would always say, I'm around you so fucking much that I get used to you, and then I get in the ring and I walk in a cage match, and this is back when we had that blue cage. He says, and there you are on the other end with your hands hanging over the top of the
cage.
Yeah. He says, you're standing with your hands over the top of the cage. You're just like, God damn, he's a big fucker.
Stefan Davies, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think AEW needs to start running smaller buildings? Okay, this was the tweet of the kind of the 360-degree pan that a fan did of a rather full section opposite the hard cam and a rather empty arena.
If I'm not mistaken, this arena is in the country of Canada, which is now as inhabitable as Mars. And I don't think I'm going to grab my family of 4 and go out to fucking severe fucking air quality to catch a little wrestling I can watch on TV.
So, well, but what are your thoughts? Should AEW start running smaller buildings?
Doesn't seem like they have a problem on Wednesdays. They're just up in their They're you. It's like, oh wow, they can't fucking draw. Well, you know what? Go run live TV on the West Coast when you're red hot, and have the starting time be fucking 5 o'clock at the Staples Center, and see how that crowd looks when you open the doors. You know, it's like you just have to use common sense. Will they
Right.
draw more? Will they draw more in Shreveport? Yeah, but the only problem is the building after Kills might hold 8,300. This is the thing that people don't understand. Tony, the Khan family, the father is the 8th richest franchise holder in America. I'm talking baseball, football. He's worth like $10 billion. When you're worth $10 billion and you own the Jaguars and you own a premium fucking soccer team, you make a fucking call to the guy at the Toronto
the arena, yeah.
Yeah, and you say, "Hey, you guys got anything? I'll fucking trade you this for that and this." It ain't like you're going in there barn burning and fucking. They don't give a fuck. They get enough people to shoot that. They couldn't give two shits. You don't have a roster with 13,000 people with 6 hours of TV if you're worried about cash. They
Right.
don't give a fuck. It's a completely different. It's
There's a
no.
lot of leash.
They,
Tony's
they
got a
could,
lot of leash to
yeah,
to
they
play
could,
with. Yeah.
they can do whatever the fuck they want to do. When you're that rich, you got fuck me money. They got fuck me money. Hey, Tony, the fucking house is a little fucking light. Fuck you. Fuck me. I don't care.
Very
Push them
good.
all over to one side.
Very good. Fernum Schnavitz, you guys mentioned Tito Santana in the list of workers last show. Kev, what are your thoughts on Tito? I met him once after his WWF run. He was such a cool guy.
Great. I am not a fucking I couldn't say a bad word about Tito.
I don't think anyone can.
He was a class act. Fucking he was just a class act of a human being. And a fucking great hand.
Yes. Yep. Definitely in his time, definitely.
Yeah. Name a bad Tito match.
Right.
Oh, there's not one. Name somebody that Tito dropped on his head trying to get a fucking Japanese move in. Oh, wait, there's not one.
Questions from the audience? Anyone else have anything to say to Kevin while we're here? Too Hard and Fierce says, who was a great hand that you never hear fans talking about, and your favorite memory of that person, if you have one? So first, a great hand that doesn't get the credit, maybe. Anyone you would have liked to seen get a little more respect?
I mean, there's so many guys, the Eric Youngs, the Robert Roods, those fucking guys, man, that just Daniels, fucking Kazarian. I mean, there's so many guys that go out there that are just amazing workers.
Okay.
There's I think that fucking Cash and Dax, I don't think they get. I mean, they hooked up with Punk, but I think those guys. I mean, I think they're fucking like super solid fucking workers.
Right. Very good. Anyone else in the audience? I want to make sure everyone gets their questions in. Being a part of this, go to kliqthistv.com and you can join us. Brendan Douglas, when did you feel WCW lost the war? Was going back to WWE an easy choice when you felt WCW was going to lose? Much love to you and your family. Everyone pre-order Sean's book, T Forever.
Leave that up there so I can read this. Was going back to WWE an easy choice? Yes, it was, because they had bought WCW at that point.
Right.
So it wasn't about, and I sat home with the WCW contract for 16 months and got paid. while it was taken over. And
the first part of that was, where do you think they lost the war? Was there kind of a definitive moment where you said there's no going home from this?
The first move was taking Nitro to 3 hours. The second move was Thunder.
Thunderstruck. I got it.
I know. Just throwing it out there.
Sullivan was putting you over very publicly this weekend at the ad-free shows gimmick that they do, the Top Guy weekend, where fans can come, and apparently on multiple occasions, Sullivan was near a proposal, from what I hear, a marriage proposal. Talked about your looks as well as your talent. So we'll get Sullivan. We got to get Sullivan for a Nash and Friends.
We got to
do you promise that we can do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I just like to fucking hang out with my fucking on this for a couple hours.
DNY says, "Hey Kev, with Hunter and Sean both currently behind the scenes in WWE and your expertise in the business, have you ever been approached or considered taking on a more behind the scenes role yourself long term? Love the pod, RIPT."
Nope.
Schedule, right?
Yeah, it's just I don't want to work. I'm 64 years old, man. I mean, it's like I need to take my wife to finish seeing Germany. We need to get back to Italy. Like I've got to quit being a shit husband and take my wife to go see places that she wants to see. So,
all right. You'd be fine in the role, obviously, over there, and they could certainly use
you know
it,
what? I wouldn't, though, because I don't. I'd last 2 weeks and I'd get fired. Because I'm going to go, fuck that. That's bullshit. I'm just not going to say I did that. I'm not that guy.
Right.
That's why I had to drive. That's why I had to fucking drive. I had to drive every mile because fuck that. Nobody else can. You can't do it like I can do it. That's just, I'm driving. Fuck that. I'm in charge. Scott said, "Who made you? Who fucking made you in charge, motherfucker?" I said, "God. He made me the biggest. I'm in charge."
You know where you can drive now? North.
Down there.
About 3 miles. Because this has been a production of Butch and Sundance Media. Produced
it's
in association
time for
with
Suits.
Podcast Heat, created by Tristan Nash, Kevin Nash, and Sean Oliver. Producer Steve Kaufman. Graphics by Dominic D'Angelo. Title sequence and audio edit by Wesley Burleson. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Technical research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2023 Butch and Sundance Media. Kev, we gonna do another one?
This is our year anniversary.
This is our 52 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, we never brought it up.
We didn't. What are anniversaries? What are they? Another day. Well, we're going to do something for 100, we said, right?
I just want to say this. Why do birds suddenly appear every time, Sean, you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you. But that's a Burt Bacharach, isn't it? The Carpenter sang it, but did Burt Bacharach write
It could be. It would be consistent with him, sure.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. I'm going James Taylor next week.
To another year.
To another year. Cheers.
Salute.